Hello everyone, Chase here, and welcome back to Chase Our Music, your channel for all things Pink Floyd. Before we get started with the video, if you like this content and want to see more, please remember to like and hit that subscribe button, as I have many more Pink Floyd videos, including a collection video at the end of this year, coming soon. So I would appreciate that if you would do those things for me. Thank you very much. Now for today's video, we're taking a look at the brand new Pink Floyd release, Wish You Were Here 50. This came out just a few days ago as of me recording this on December 12th, 2025. As the title suggests, it's for the 50th anniversary of the album Wish You Were Here, their album from 1975. Now this is my favorite album that the Floyd has ever put out, so this is a very personal album to me, and that's why I instantly went out and picked up the 3 LP set. There is a larger box set that exists that will be coming out, but sadly I cannot currently afford that, but hopefully in the future I will be able to purchase that and maybe do a video on it and give my thoughts on it. So without further ado, let's actually open up this package. Alright, so as you can see, I have kept this in the shrink wrap. I have not opened this yet, because I wanted to give you guys an authentic look at what the packaging looks like. So right here we have a hype sticker. It says Wish You Were Here 50, 3 LP, original album, and 2 discs of rarities, including 6 previously unreleased alternate versions and demos. That part right there is the part that I'm most excited to get into. Otherwise, you also have the classic handshake emblem here in the center, much like the original shrink wrap of the original album. That would be black shrink wrap or dark blue shrink wrap, as I've also seen, that conceals the real album artwork, and you have to open it up to find it. And you also got some different stickers and backstage passes. You got one of the Dark Side of the Moon sticker inserts here, and you got 3 other backstage passes. You got this one down here, and you got a couple from the North American 1975 tour up there as well. Now, on the back, we have a little more of a clear look at what each LP contains. So you have the little Wish You Were Here 50 logo here with the bowler hat. I really like that design, by the way. So LP 1 is just the original album. Track listing as follows: Shine On You Crazy Diamond, parts 1 through 5, Welcome to the Machine, and then side B has Have a Cigar, Wish You Were Here, and Shine On You Crazy Diamond, parts 6 through 9. Now, these next 2 are the reason I bought this in the first place. You got the rarities 1 and 2. On side C here, you got Wine Glasses, Have a Cigar alternate version, which basically features Roger and David on vocals instead of Roy Harper. Wish You Were Here featuring Stefan Grappelli on violin, which is a very beautiful version. I have heard this one before. And then side D has Shine On You Crazy Diamond, early instrumental version, rough mix. And then the Machine song, Roger's demo. Now for the second rarities disc, you have side E, which contains the Machine song, demo number 2 revisited, Wish You Were Here take 1, Wish You Were Here pedal steel instrumental mix, and then side F is the entirety of Shine On You Crazy Diamond, all 9 parts, with a new stereo mix. So now that I've rambled enough about the packaging, let's actually open this up and get into the main content. Alright, I have officially unboxed Wish You Were Here 50. I also made sure to preserve this shrink wrap the best I possibly could for collecting purposes, and because I wanted to make sure that this hype sticker was kept intact. So I'm going to put that off to the side, and now we can get into the actual set here. So as you can see, this cover art is actually just a slipcase that holds the 3 LPs. They fit snugly in here. And off camera, I'm going to get these out so I don't knock anything over. And I will show you each one individually. Alright, so the slipcase just comes off just like this. It's an empty box. You can use this to store everything. Alright, so now I have all of the LPs out and ready to show you, but before I get to those, I actually have something else that was in here that I didn't know was going to be here that I wanted to show. So, in addition to the 3 LPs, there was also this little insert that has some photographs. I'm assuming pretty much all of these photographs are in the hardcover book that comes with the full $250 box set that was put out, which I cannot afford at the moment, but maybe one day I will own, and I hope to do a video on it if I do ever own it. So you got some nice images here. There's a nice image of Rick. You got some photography, my bad, of the board here. And you also got this image of, I believe that's Nick. Yeah, that's Nick standing outside of a plane here. And then on the back side of this, you also got just some credits and stuff, producer credits, all that good stuff, art direction, all that. And some nice extra graphic material right here. So this was a neat little thing to include. I'm glad that this was in here. It gives you a little taste of what photos you'll get if you get the box set and get the hardcover book. Now there's also another neat little card included in the box. This one just says, Pink Floyd, wish you were here. A lot more simplistic than the last one I showed. Just has a rough sketch of the machine handshake that is seen as a common motif for a lot of the album artwork. So that's a really nice image to have. It says down here, actually, it says, original concept pencil drawing of the robot handshake by George Hardy, 1975. So this is like an original concept drawing of what would become the robot handshake emblem that would become iconic for generations. And there's nothing on the back, much like, oh wait, no, this one does have stuff on the back, my bad, I forgot. But yeah, this one has stuff on the back, this one's just blank. So now let's actually go through each LP. First off, we got the original album, Wish You Were Here. Like I said before, this is my favorite Floyd album of all time. So, very personal album to me. Absolutely brilliant work all the way through. Classic artwork of the two men shaking hands with the burning one right here. And on the back, basically the same artwork as the original album in previous releases. Now, inside... oh, that's interesting. Apparently there is no postcard in this, which is different from the traditional Wish You Were Here releases, which had a postcard inside. So putting that aside, here is the inner sleeve with all the lyrics, and then you also got this photo of the red veil, basically replicating the original album's artwork down to a T, with the exception of the postcard, obviously. And you got the lyrics right here, everything with that. And then the actual LP itself, if we get that out real quick, if it wants to cooperate with me. There we go. Yes, here it is. Wish You Were Here. Basically the exact same as the previous releases. Oh, what the heck? There's a piece of hair on there. That's weird. I don't know how that got there. I literally just took this out. But yes, here it is. Basically looks exactly the same as previous releases. This isn't really anything new. It's literally just the original album. So yeah, let's move on to the second LP. All right, and here is the first disc of rarities that was advertised on the box. As you can see, we got some artwork of a man standing on a trail of clocks. Kind of reminds me of the animation for Time from the Dark Side of the Moon live shows. And on the back here, we got some more clock imagery, except this is more zoomed in on a clock, and it looks like it's a clock that's underwater. And down here, you have a short little track listing. Side C is Wine Glasses Have a Cigar alternate version, and Wish You Were Here featuring Stefan Grappelli. And side D is Shine On You Crazy Diamond, early instrumental version Rough Mix, and the Machine song, Roger's Demo. So this is our first taste of new content. I'm going to get this out. Comes in this interesting blue inner sleeve here. I like this a lot. I like that color. Just more information about the track listing, writing credits, yada yada yada. Let's get this one out and show this on camera. You can tell these are new because they really don't want to come out for me. Okay, there we go. So here is the second disc, second LP. Got some artwork here reminiscent of the cover art of this LP. And on the other side, you got the close-up image of the clock with water over top of it. And yeah, I will say these demos and rough mixes are the big reason why I was so excited for this box set, because we probably wouldn't have gotten many of these if Sony had not bought the catalog. Sony, for only owning the catalog for like about a year now, they have done an amazing job, and I hope to see more. And this box set gives me hope that we'll be getting something really nice when Animal's 50th anniversary comes around in 2027. So I hope that Sony does something. Like, I don't know, release a live album from Oakland 77. Please, Sony, I have said this before, I would love you forever if you do that. Anyway, that's the second LP. Now let's move on to the third and final LP. Alright, and here we have the third and final LP. This is Rarities Disc 2. And on the back here, I believe this is a scrapped concept for the album cover design. Very interesting photo. I think the colors are really interesting. Definitely a very 1970s kind of look, if you ask me. Here, just like the last Rarities LP, we got the track listing here. Side E contains the Machine Song Demo Number 2 Revisited, Wish You Were Here Take 1, Wish You Were Here Pedal Steel Instrumental Mix, and side F is Shine On You Crazy Diamond Part 1 through 9 New Stereo Mix. Lots more interesting stuff on here. Lots of unreleased stuff, most importantly. Like, hearing another take of Wish You Were Here with David's vocals sounding so different from the final version is so weird in such a cool way, if that makes sense. If you've heard it, you probably know what I mean. But, yeah, that's the second LP here. The front cover here, I didn't really talk much about, but I'm going to talk about real quick, is very reminiscent of the image of the red veil on the inner sleeve of the original album, except this veil is white and almost clear, actually, instead of red. Now, let's take a look at what's inside here. We got a yellow inner sleeve here with the handshake emblem with the two men. Very nice. And on the back, same as the other ones, you just got a brief overview of the track listing and the writing credits for everything and who played what. Now, if we take a look at the actual LP in here, you can look at the artwork on the labels. I've been loving the artwork that they've used for this. They really outdid themselves here, I think. And this is just the 3 LP set. The box set has a lot more of these little goodies included. So here's side E, has the image of the white veil, like on the inner sleeve. Track listing there for side E. And then the other side has that outtake, or not outtake, the scrapped concept for Wish You Were Here's album cover. I don't think this would have been nearly as iconic as the Burning Man image that was on the final version. And as you can see, side F only has one track, which is all 9 parts of Shine On You Crazy Diamond, which I'm so happy finally has been compiled officially and released officially by the band. So that is the final LP, and now it is time for my final thoughts. So I will see you in just a second. Alright, so in conclusion, I absolutely love this 3 LP set. I would have loved to get the box set for Wish You Were Here 50, but sadly that is not in my price range at the moment. Although I am saving for it, and I do hopefully plan on getting it in the near future. When that happens, I will be sure to make a video about it, because I'm sure people would love to see that. Hopefully there's still some Wish You Were Here 50 hype circulating by then, so people actually care. But anyway, yes, if you can't afford the box set either, I would highly recommend getting this set if you're a vinyl collector especially. But if vinyl's not really your thing and you're more into CDs, this exact album has been released on a 2 CD set as well. I personally got the vinyl one because I'm more of a vinyl guy. Nothing wrong with CDs, it's just vinyl is more my thing. And another advantage too is that the CD is a lot cheaper. This 3 LP set will run you about $72.99, which Sounds like a lot, but there's a lot of brand new bonus content here that was previously never available anywhere. And it's not a copy of the Immersion edition that came out back in 2011, so you are getting some new stuff, which is really nice. And that is pretty much all there is to say. This set does not contain everything that's in the box set. Like, there are some extras, including a live show from 1975 that was actually remastered by Steven Wilson from a bootleg recorded by the legendary taper Mike Millard. So you are missing that, sadly, if you don't get the box set. But other than that, you're getting a lot of good new stuff for the price. So if you're a big fan of Pink Floyd, and especially a big fan of Wish You Were Here, I highly recommend that you pick this set up. Like I said, it might be a little pricey depending on how much you're willing to spend on a 3LP set, but trust me, it is well worth it. That's about going to wrap things up for today's video. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you're a Pink Floyd fan. And share this video with your friends. If you have other fellow Pink Floyd fans as friends, make sure to send this to them, because I'm trying to grow the channel, reach some more people like me who are especially on the younger side and enjoy Pink Floyd, because it's generations like mine that'll keep this good music going far into the future, and I think that that's so special. So thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you on the dark side of the moon.